Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Marvin's Room. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in to the channel. To the new subscribers, welcome. You guys have no idea how grateful I am you continue to subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 700 subscribers. Hasn't even been a year yet. The growth has been tremendous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that being said, I want to announce the winners for the giveaway from last month, for the month of February. For those that don't know, I do free giveaways every month. And the way to enter these giveaways is to be subscribed to the channel. You have to be subscribed to the channel. You have to like the videos. You have to comment, on the videos. And I will pick winners every month based on that criteria. Now, the winners of last month are Denisha DP and Philippa. So contact me ASAP, guys, so we can set something up, whether it's a money or EFT course to manifest a specific person, or a free coaching session with me. And if you guys haven't checked out my EFT videos on my channel, I highly, highly, highly recommend you check out my EFT videos on my channel. They're amazing. People get amazing results. People have gotten amazing results. I know I did when I was tapping a lot. I got amazing results, whether you manifested a specific person back or whether it just helped you heal and forgive your childhood, heal and forgive whatever traumas you might have gone through. It's second to none, honestly. I feel like it's worked wonders in people's lives. So check out the videos on my channel in regards to EFT. And if you want to take it a step further, you can purchase the EFT course, my 11-day EFT course to manifest a specific person. So I highly recommend you guys check that out. Congrats to the winners. I will be picking new winners for this month, later on in the month. So again, stay tuned in, stay locked in, guys. Now, with that being said, new week, new month. If we're off the tracks, don't worry about it. Let's get back on the tracks. Because as you guys know, when you sit in your misery, that's when you continue to perpetuate that misery and you attract more of it. All right. So new week, new month. If you're off the tracks, let's get back on. It's completely fine. It happens throughout our lives. It's okay. It's a part of life. Just make sure that we deal with it and we get back on track as fast as we can. All right, guys. Now, on to today's video. Today's video, I want to talk to you guys about action, because inspired action versus forceful action, I feel like is a big thing, and I feel like so many people, they miss out on it because they're forcing the action instead of allowing it to happen. And for those that know about law of attraction, and what we're studying, the law of attraction it teaches you all about the art of flow, the art of allowing. And most people in law of attraction communities, I feel like that we don't know the art of allowing. We don't know the art of flow. Because we've been taught, especially in the Western world, we gotta work hard. We gotta work 8 hours a day. We gotta put in 15 hours a day. We gotta work 100 hours a week. You know what I mean? Or 80 hours a week. We gotta put the time up. We gotta put the time in. Hard work, many hours. But I want you guys to understand and think about this. How many people in this world work hard, but they have nothing to show for it? There's massive amounts of people in this world who work hard, but literally have nothing to show for it. They put in 15 hours a day. They put in, 100-hour work weeks or 80-hour work weeks, and they still literally have nothing to show for it. That should be a sign in itself to let you guys know that hard work alone will not help you manifest whatever it is that you want. Because understand, to manifest anything in your life, it doesn't necessarily take as much action as we think it does. Now, the law of action has to come into play at some point. But that point is based on how specific and how clear and concise you have been with your manifestations, or whatever. If you scripted, how clear and concise you scripted with whatever it is that you want. Because most times, if you do this thing right, I realize the universe will bring everything to you gift wrapped the way you want. You literally almost won't have to lift a finger until maybe the very, very, very end. And even when you lift that finger, it's like the action is just nothing compared to what it could have been. You know what I mean? So I want you guys to understand, manifesting whatever it is you want in your life, whether it's money, whether it's relationship, whether it's never about how much effort you put in. It's never about efforting. Is what sets so many people back, is because they think they have to effort. For instance, you have somebody who's trying to manifest a relationship or a marriage. What they do is they're so consumed with action, they go on to dating websites. They might be members to like 5 to 10 different dating websites. Guys, that's forcing. That's forcing. That's not allowing. You being on 5 to 10 different dating sites. Now, again, this depends, because if that's the way you want to go about it, it can work that way. But again, it's about the specifics. But what most people try to do is, instead of setting the intention and letting it go, most people will set the intention and say, I want a new relationship, or I want to manifest a marriage. And then what they'll do is they will go out and they'll start to try to set things up to get in alignment with that. And it really doesn't work like that. So if you want to manifest a marriage or a relationship or something like that, what you shouldn't do is, you should not set that intention and then all of a sudden go out and start planning dates, start setting up dates, because now you're playing with the middle. Now you are trying to play universe, because the universe doesn't need you to go set up dates with your potential prospects of who you want to get in a relationship with. The universe doesn't need you to do that. The universe, now, if you scripted it out that way, that's totally different, but the universe doesn't need you to do that. Like, action is so misunderstood in the world. It is unbelievable. All you have to do is literally set the intention and let it go. And it's going to come to you at the right moment. Whether it's you walking into a grocery store at a time and then you see someone and you're like, wow, that's the person. Or whether you're driving and they pull up next to you one day and then all of a sudden you guys click. Or, there's a myriad of examples that we can talk about to say, okay, the universe can bring you your perfect manifestation gift wrapped it that way. There's too many examples that we can think of and say, okay, this is how it's going to happen, because you don't know how it's going to happen. But the problem is so many people try to force the how and the when it's going to happen, and a perfect story that comes to mind that can illustrate not doing anything is the story in Neville's book with the doctor and the wife. This story was in the book, The Law and the Promise. And this is a perfect example. Now that I'm talking about this is a perfect example of setting an intention and letting go and not doing anything and listening to inspired action. Okay. So the story goes like this. There's a doctor and his wife in Neville's book, The Law and the Promise. And they already owned the lots on the corners or whatever. They already had a building that they lived in, but they had a desire to build another building on the corner lot and obviously rent it out to different people. But they didn't have the money to do so. And so what the doctor and his wife did is they set an intention on seeing the building already being built. In their imagination, they already saw the building being built. They walked through the building. They smelled the smells. They did everything vivid in their imagination. And they both agreed on the one thing, like they weren't going to spend any money, any of their own money. They weren't going to do anything. And so they knew of a contractor that they thought, oh yeah, we could call this guy and he could do it. But again, the way they set up their intention was they didn't do anything. They didn't want to do anything. They just wanted to let it happen. So for instance, most people in this situation, if they wanted to build a building on that corner lot, what most people would do in that situation is they would say, oh man, I got to start calling contractors. I got to call real estate agents. I got to do all of this stuff to try to figure out how I can build this building that I want to live in, or that I want my tenants to live in on this corner lot. I got to do all of this work. I got to make all these phone calls to see if I can find contractors, to see if I can find money, to see if I can find, pretty much anything to help me get the ball rolling with this idea and these plans that we have for this building. That's what most people would do. They would have put in countless hours trying to find the right people. But this couple, listen to what this couple did. This couple literally, all they did was in imagination every night, they walked through the building. They saw the building being complete. They didn't reach out to anybody. They didn't make any phone calls. They didn't do anything. They literally just went to sleep every night imagining their building already being complete, seeing the tenants, hearing one of their good friends, I forget her name at the time, say something in particular, say like the building is magnificent or something like that. It's lovely. They did all of that in their imagination. But in the physical 3D world, they literally did nothing. They did nothing except imagine. So they imagined for some weeks, and then what happened was the contractor guy that they knew, he walked by the building and he actually went inside. He was like, why is there no building up on this corner? He's like, you guys should put a building up on this corner. And he's like, I can probably help you guys find someone, who's willing to do it, or whatever the case may be. So the couple, all they did was say thank you. They were like, thank you. And they did nothing after that. He told them, he said, thank you. They did nothing. And I don't remember how many days later or whatever, but he called them and was like, yeah, I have someone that can, do X, Y, and Z. I have someone that can, possibly finance the building or do the work. And literally all they said was thank you. They were just like, okay, cool. Thank you. If you find anything else, keep us updated. It was that kind of conversation. Obviously it didn't go exactly like that, but I'm just giving you a summation, but it was that kind of conversation. So basically the contractor went out again and he came back and he told him like, okay, I have somebody ready to go, but it's going to cost you guys a few $1,000s that you're going to have to put up. Not going to put up a lot. You're not going to put up, the 30,000 or whatever, but you're going to have to put up, X amount of dollars. And they knew what they wanted, because when they imagined it and visualized it and they agreed on it, the couple said they didn't want to spend any of their own money. So they told him, oh, okay, thank you, I appreciate it, but no, that's okay, we're not going to take it. And they didn't do anything. Again, they did not do anything. They didn't pick up the phone. They didn't try to call. They didn't do anything. So then the contractor, he finds blueprints for the building. He's like, guys, I found blueprints for the building. I think I can build it. And they were like, okay, awesome. They still didn't do anything. You know what I mean? And then the contractor came in and said one day, finally, he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to finance this building for you guys. I'm going to finance the whole building. I have the blueprints. I have everything. All I have to do is get my attorney to draw up the paperwork and the building can go, under construction. We can start it. This time they did something. They signed the paperwork. But I'm telling you guys this story so you could see how they didn't take any action at all. Like they literally took no action. And when things propped up, they let the fruit ripen before they picked it. So when the guy showed up and was like, oh, when the contractor showed up and said, oh yeah, I have a guy that can, finance this, or I can do this, but you got to pay money out of pocket. They said no, because they knew that they didn't want to mess with the middle. They knew that, how they wanted it to happen in their mind. You know what I mean? And then they told this contract, they just thanked the contractor and turned him down about 3 or 4 different times in the story. I forget, because it's been a while since I read it. But I want you guys to understand the power of knowing when to take action. Knowing when to take an action, inspired action, because inspired action comes from your gut. Inspired action comes from when your awareness is way higher than it usually is. Because if your awareness isn't high, you're not going to be able to listen to those hunches. You're not going to be able to you're not going to be paying attention to the signs all around you that you see, because the universe is always constantly communicating with us. Just like your body is always constantly communicating with you, because it's connected to the universe. So the universe is always trying to send you signs and stuff like that to show you, hey, look, this is where to go. Here, turn left here, go into this grocery store, make this phone call, text this person, do whatever. The universe will always give you signs. And when the universe gives you those signs, inspired action will literally propel you years ahead of other people, or it will propel you years ahead of your manifestation if you pay attention to it. If you ignore it, that's a whole nother story. If you ignore it, then guess what? You're going to miss out on your opportunities. You're potentially going to miss out on a manifestation that you could have gotten way quicker. You know what I'm saying? But in order to pay attention and listen to these hunches, your awareness has to be up. You can't just move through life like a zombie. You got to be paying attention. You got to be focused, because hunches are something you should never ignore. And inspired action is something that you should never ignore, especially when you know how it is that you wanted to create your desires, And I think this is a big thing, because most people, like I said, what the Western world teaches us is they teach us, okay, if you have a goal, you need to work hard towards that goal, And I love the story I just told you guys about the doctor and his wife, because as I explained to you guys, most people, they would have just did so much work trying to find contractors. And they would have been calling real estate agents. They would have been calling, blueprint guys, architects. They would have just did all of this work to try to build that building. Because developing a building, it takes work. It takes time, But this couple, I hope this story illustrates inspired action versus regular action. This couple literally did nothing except sign the paperwork when the time was right, because they knew they had lived in the end of their wish fulfilled. And they knew, if we're living in the end, I don't need to do this right now because I'm living in the end. If I'm living in the end, if this building is already complete, then I don't need to put up any of my money. That was a key part of that. I hope you guys didn't miss. You know, if this building is complete, then I hope I don't have to, then I know I don't have to put up any money, because in my mind, this building is already complete. I'm already living in the end. And I want you guys to know how powerful that part is of living in the end. They were so confident and comfortable in living in the end that they literally did nothing. They literally did nothing. When all the pieces seemed like they lined up, when they felt like, oh, we have financing, when they felt like, oh, we might have financing, or we might have blueprints, or we might have to put up some money, they didn't just jump. Most people would have probably just jumped on it like, oh, okay, I'll put up a few $1,000s. But they literally did not budge. They literally let the universe put everything in place for them without doing anything. And I want you guys to know, this is how manifestation works. We do not need to take as much action as we think. All we need to do is set the intention and let the universe work, and pay attention to the hunches and the signs that we get. And when you get those hunches, and when you get those intuition vibes, and something's telling you turn here or call this person or text that person, that's when you get tremendous results. It doesn't take 80 hours a week. It doesn't take, 100 hours a week. It doesn't take any of that type of stuff to become successful. All right, guys. I just want to jump in here and share this story with you. I hope you got some gems from this story once again. This is one of my favorite stories out of Neville's book that teaches you, like, yo, literally all you have to do is let go. Intend, and then literally let go, and let the universe construct everything in the most perfect way. And all you have to do is, when the time is right, say yes. Or when the time is right, sign the paperwork like the doctor and his wife did. You know what I'm saying? But don't get caught up in thinking you got to put in all this action and all that good stuff, because it doesn't take that, guys. Trust me, it does not take that. When you understand that you are a God, when you understand your real power, when you understand the power of the universe is all inside of you, you have that same power to just create magic out of nowhere. I'm telling you guys, it's going to change your life. All right? It's been another episode of Marvin's Room, man. Thank you guys, as always, for joining me, as always. And I will see you guys in the next YouTube.